What's going on, Ramley? Welcome to the Rams Skinny here on the LAFB network. We're all Los Angeles Sports. This is your daily dose of Los Angeles Rams news live preview, 4 p.m. here on a Thursday, as always. We may play around with the times in the future, but hey, for now, 4 p.m., we are live previewing this really big game between the Rams and the Ravens. Skinny T. Felt like it was going to be a big game before the season. And now it's big game still, but kind of different feelings based on where these teams are record-wise, at least Baltimore, that is. We're going to get all into it, but first and foremost, Skinny T, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Doing good. Got the Dodgers game going on in the background here. Another pivotal game. I don't know why I always have trouble with that word. But man, we got to get these bats going. Shohei Ohtani with 2 hits. We got Pajes, who was killing it before in the regular season, just dried up in the postseason. I think you said 0 for 29 or something like that.
Yeah, I think 1 for 29.
Whew. That's not good as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. Not good at all. But yeah, I mean, a lot of I still don't like, while we're waiting for people to kind of get in here. What's up, Ramley? Welcome. It's still wild to me, these midday playoff games, like the baseball. Like for us, it's great because we're working from home, covering sports anyway. We're covering the Dodgers game, so we get to start earlier, not stay up late. But man, a 3 p.m. local start time, it's just playoff game 4, pivotal game, like just silly to me.
It's not Saturday. It's not Sunday. People aren't just hanging out around waiting for this thing to start. They got stuff to do. This is Los Angeles, this is the hardest working town in the country.
Right?
Come on. There's a reason there's traffic here constantly. Because everybody's working all the time.
Yeah, nonstop.
Speaking of which, it's not working, but I'm going to West Hollywood tonight for a little NFLPA event. Weird perks that we get with this job. Our guy, Kwame Siegel, who helped us out with the tailgate show last year, invited me out to a rooftop party for the NFLPA.
When are you heading out for that? Just right after the show, basically?
I got to walk the dog, change the clothes,
Are you dressing to like the nines?
Doing the suit. Black and white suit, penguin, baby.
Going full black and white suit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what the dress code is, but I'm going to be at it or above it.
I mean, it's going to be great when everyone's in like football jerseys and you're there in the penguin suit.
Yeah. Hey,
I wonder what former Rams might be there, or if any, or current Rams. I mean, NFLPA event.
Todd Gurley likes to hang around LA quite a bit. I think he still has a house out here.
Yeah.
Maybe OBJ out there. Yeah,
you'll have to check in.
Yeah, I will.
Maybe I don't know if people want their photo taken, but you can, just throw a little tweet like, oh, just hanging out, drinking some Hennessy with LeBron and his injured sciatica.
Oh man. What do you think about the OBJ news? He wants to come back to LA. He says, bring me home. They're bringing me home. He wants to play with McVay again. I
mean, he's been saying that since 2021, right? He wants to be here. But either the Rams just don't want him, or I think now it's different. Obviously, he's not being on a team, but before, I don't know if he wanted too much money. But, McVay always said, we want him. He's welcome here anytime. He always said he wanted to be here, and nothing ever happened. So someone didn't want someone when it came down to it.
Yeah. He was on the roster last year, right? He was a Dolphin, I think.
Yeah. It'd be fun. I don't know where, like, it'd be like one of those no-need signings. It'd be like a feel-good signing. But, I mean, they already don't throw to anyone else not named Puka or Davante anyway. So why do you need a wide receiver 7 that's not going to get any targets anyway?
Wide receiver 7, yeah. Well, he played, Dolphins 2024 for $3 million. You can find that in the couch cushions. Give him one of those Kawhi Leonard deals where he's, representative for a charity.
Hey, we'll we can let Kroenke just invest in LAFB, and we'll be like that seed kind of seed fund or whatever that he can funnel through to pay players. Like, we're okay with that. We'll use the money for sure, the leftover.
Hosts a podcast for us.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can invite Pablo Torre on to just tear us a new one.
I'm open to it.
I mean, let's give it a shot. So, all right. Well, quickly before we dive into this preview, now that we got more people joining, what's going on? Shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. Make sure to download the Sleeper app, number one sports app right now. When you do go to download, you're going to want to play the daily fantasy, the pick'em. So you got to make a deposit. And when you make that first deposit, use our promo code RAMS LAFB. It's all one word, RAMS LAFB. You're going to get a match bonus up to $100. You don't have to do 100. You can do $10 if you want, and they'll match you $10 free money to play with. But wait, Skinny, there's more. Right now, new users get a free $20 entry, no deposit needed. So you can do both. You can deposit and get the match bonus with our promo, RAMS LAFB. And on top of that, you're going to get $20 extra for free to play with. And you can turn that free money into real money with the pick 'em. Pick 2 to 8 players, more or less. Have a ball, have a blast. I love it. You can do it tonight. Thursday night football, right? We got who's right, off the top of my head.
It's Giants and Eagles.
7.5 is the spread on that. Eagles 7.5. That feels.
I could see the Giants winning that game, honestly.
I could too, especially Thursday night. We know last week as Rams fans, Thursday nights throw everything out the window. All bets are off, unless not betting, but unless you're playing Sleeper, obviously, other than that. So,
no Jalen Carter in that game. So we'll see. Maybe Saquon wants to run it up on him again. I don't know. He got like one carry in the second half last week.
Yeah, thankfully. As a Broncos fan, I was like, thank you for deciding not to use your best player on offense anymore. Broncos defense is very stout. So, but hey, that's another convert. So Rams travel to Baltimore. I don't care what Baltimore's record is. That is always a very hard place to play. Super cool stadium. Baltimore, Skinny, is like an underrated American city. Yeah. Have you been there before?
Never been. No. Definitely on the high end, though.
It's, it's a storied city, obviously. It's got an interesting past. Obviously, with I'm sure many people have seen the fantastic HBO series, The Wire, and how kind of downtrodden the city got. But I feel like it's on the up and up. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in Baltimore. My niece lives in Baltimore. And if you remember, Skinny, when these two teams met 2 years ago, when the Rams lost in overtime on a punt return, I was in Baltimore. I wasn't at the game, but I was in Baltimore visiting my niece, ironically. And it's very cool. It's a great football town. So tough place to play. So we'll see if these Rams rebound. So how are you feeling? We'll get into the injury report. We'll get into some of the matchups. But how are you feeling? Off the mini bye, Baltimore just lost 41-10 to a not very good Houston team. Rams obviously lost to a battered up Niners team. How do you feel about the Rams rebounding in this one?
Man, I feel great. We're heading into a big, what is this, a 7.5 point favorite game?
I think so. Actually, that's a good question. I didn't
look into it. I feel good, except this was last week too. Starting quarterback probably out. A bunch of people injured, bunch of things going wrong for the Ravens. Is Cooper Rush better than Mac Jones? I don't know. So, I mean, this is another game they should win. This is, but they have found ways to lose games. They have found ways to let lesser teams stay in games. And this should be a prove it game for them. That said, the entire hopes of Baltimore Ravens fandom and this team going into the playoffs is kind of riding on this week. It looks terrible right now, but it could look a lot better with this W for the Ravens. So this is a team that's going to be playing with a lot of desperation. Now we got Jared Verse saying out here he's going to be really upset if Lamar Jackson doesn't play because he wants a chance to go out and sack him. There's a lot of quarterbacks that Jared Verse has not sacked.
Yeah, respect.
So Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced this week. Sounds like he probably won't play in this game. Probably Cooper Rush. But all that said, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman,
Zay Flowers,
DeAndre Hopkins. Did I say Derrick Henry already?
He's worth saying twice.
Yeah. So Do I think this is a game they should win? Absolutely. The Ravens defense has been obliterated by a lot of lesser offenses. But the Rams have to close out on offense specifically. They have to execute on offense. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good because I think this matchup, especially if Lamar does not play, which is trending like he will not, does bode in favor of the Rams. So far this year have mightily improved against the run, and they've struggled against the pass. We've talked a lot about the secondary. I know you talked with Brock about, hey, do they need to go get a corner to help shore up this secondary? And the run defense hasn't been perfect, but 4 straight weeks now, Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, and now Derrick Henry. Like in 4 straight weeks, they've played 4 of the best backs. And obviously we don't know about what it's going to look like with Henry yet, but with Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, and Christian McCaffrey in the run game, they actually did really well. I mean, Saquon, they held in check in the run game. They held Jonathan Taylor under 100 yards. They held Christian McCaffrey for the most part. So it's been in the passing game where they've really struggled. So if it's a Cooper Rush led Ravens offense, I do feel good about this defense. And I think they're going to bounce back regardless after what happened last week. So I feel good about that. It's hard after last week, but Thursday night divisional game. I'm trying to just say that's not what this team is. We know more of this team than what we saw on Thursday. Offensively, based on what we've seen from the Ravens on defense, I mean, the Rams offense should be able to move the ball at will. They should have no problem. CJ Stroud, 4 touchdowns last week against this Ravens defense. This is not the old Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter, Wink Martindale. Like, this is not that old Ravens defense that we're so accustomed to with John Harbaugh led teams. Doesn't mean they can't bounce back and improve, but they obviously maybe not obviously, but they just traded one of their premier edge rushers to the Chargers. They did get Alohi Gilman back to shore up their secondary, help out at the safety position. Interesting trade right there, but losing, I always say is Owefe? I always say his name wrong.
Odafe Owe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Odafe Owe, who's been a pretty good player so far in his young career. So dipping out on that. And so, a little more relief for the Rams there on the offensive line. But I feel good about how these teams match up in what the Rams' strong suit is versus their weakness so far.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Matabike, another tough name.
Well done.
Dami
with ease, you said
Matabike. He went out early, so he was their premier pass rusher. I'm not sure if he went down before the season or in the season, but he's on the IR now. Won't play. They trade away this guy. This is an intriguing move. And the only sense I can make out of it is that they are looking for a way to get their premier safety, Kyle Hamilton, back into the game plan. Kyle Hamilton's kind of like that Derwin James character who they move around a lot, in the nickel as a pass rusher, as kind of a linebacker in ways, and as a safety and whatnot. So, are they thinking that is going to change the landscape of their defense enough? There's no pass rush to speak of, though. I mean,
yeah.
Even Owe was really struggling. But they also picked up CJ Gardner-Johnson, who was cut from the team he was on before for some reason. We don't know. Was he a Texan? Was he on the Texans a couple weeks ago?
Texans.
I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
So
sure was.
But again, we've been in this position where the Rams have played, pretty bad defenses. Who's been the worst one? Probably the Colts. I mean, maybe the Niners with all the injuries that they had, no pass rush whatsoever to speak of. And it's just really come down to a lot of execution issues. We've talked a lot about red zone. They're converting only 52% of the red zone trips into touchdowns. Third down rate, 38.3%. Short yardage situations, converting just 25% of their short yardage opportunities. So, that's power running game. That's, play design there. First quarter, they scored a total of 13 points. That's That's less than a field goal on average in the first quarter. That's
not great.
Not good. That, and if you go back and you total up what other teams are putting on top of them in that first half, first quarter time frame, I mean, that's pretty much the difference in a lot of those games.
Why do you
the 49ers? Go ahead.
No, why do you think, and this is just for us to debate a little bit, like, why do you think the Rams are starting off so slow? Like Sean McVay, you would think and we've talked about this in past shows, like we know some of these great offensive coaches, how good they are at the first scripted series, right? You script the first series, like Mike Shanahan with the Broncos, they used to score a touchdown every single drive, and then, stuff would even out after that. I think Kyle Shanahan is a great scripter. You can look at other offensive coaches. Sean Payton is a really good scripter, at least historically. For whatever reason, at least we'll just stick with this year. Outside of what game was it? There was one game where they did go down their first drive. It's actually the game we called out the script,
Eagles.
And then that week who was it against? Houston?
It was Eagles, I believe.
Eagles, yeah, Eagles. But outside of that, they have not done well, as you're just alluding to. 13 points across the first quarter. Like, why? What do you think it is? Is it just they're still catching up because they don't play in the preseason? Like, I'm just so curious.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, is it Matthew Stafford having to shake off some rust every game, get his head in the game? I don't know. Is it a balance between the rush and the passing game that isn't quite still doesn't seem cohesive to me? McVay in the early days, his ability to kind of balance everything, that was with Todd Gurley. So, I mean, there's never been a Todd Gurley since then, but he's never, it doesn't feel, like a combination of punches. It feels like, we're going to throw a haymaker, and we're going to dump it off to Puka Nacua. We're gonna body blow, and then it's third and long. Another statistic that I came across was their efficiency on first down, and that's that. I think EPA per play. Let me see if I've got it here handy. On critical downs, they're in the negative on first down on EPA per play. So that takes into consideration explosive plays, but they're in the red, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe they need to take more chances on first down. Maybe that just needs to be the Davante Adams down, and then we'll make up for it back then. Figuring out how to create something that's a bit more explosive that puts defenses right away on their heels. I mean, that would be good. That's what, and that's a Puka Nacua thing, probably. He's been really the only explosive player outside of a couple of Davante.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like a creativity thing, if it's just like shaking the rust off, like you said. It's interesting because just with the offensive mind of Sean McVay, with the MVP caliber play of Matthew Stafford, with the talent of Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, Kyren Williams, this team should not be scoring 13 points total across five first quarters.
Yeah.
It just shouldn't happen. This team is too talented. So it's an interesting thing. We'll see if they get off to that quicker start this one, because I think that's really important. Being on the road in a tough environment, regardless that the Ravens are 4-1, it's a better team, I think, than 4-1. You want to get off to a quick start. You can't go down 14-0 like they did on Thursday night against San Francisco, and have to claw your way back. But what's crazy, Skinny, is we've seen this team lose multiple different ways. I mean, they've lost 2 games, and both games were lost very differently, right? They jumped off to a big lead against the Eagles, had that lead, were dominant in the first half, couldn't close in the red zone, but the defense was stacking up. The offense was methodical and moving the ball, and they ended up losing it late and blowing the lead. And then against San Francisco, they get off to a really slow start, down 14-0, claw their way back into, tying it, and had the opportunity to take the lead and then lose in overtime. So 2 kind of walk-off losses done very differently. So what Rams team can we see for all quarters now in this one? The Hampton Baileys cut Troy Reader, sign OBJ. Unfortunately, I don't think Troy Reader's going anywhere. Troy Reader's gonna be starting this week.
Well, there is some talk that Sean Dolak is in the mix for that role, but I mean he's a rookie. Now we know what Troy Reader is all about. As somebody said, my Twitter mentions, 99% of Rams fans don't like him. Sean McVay is not in that group. But Sean Dolak is a rookie playing in his very first professional football game. I mean,
as an undrafted rookie,
maybe he'll be great. He could also be terrible.
Yeah, I'd much rather ease him in. Like last year, remember Omar Speights didn't just start all of a sudden. He kind of got some reps a little bit here and there, and then kind of became.
Troy Reader got hurt.
Yeah,
and that's when he came in. So
yeah,
I mean this might be the time to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. And second part of this, why not ditch the 12 personnel if Ferguson isn't ready? What do you think about that?
It's a fantastic question. They're ranked 30th in the league in EPA per play while in 12 personnel. Now Higbee was banged up last week. He wasn't in the game. Ferguson was in for a handful of snaps in that game and only a handful of offensive snaps period across the first five games. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I think I would tie that into what I was saying about the cohesiveness of this play calling. Sean McVay is used to having the same personnel basically on the field for 95% of his play calling. And this is switching it up a lot. Now with Blake Corum taking on more of a responsibility, mixing up, Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen, switching that up with, that was a heavy rotation, those two guys. And then Tyler Higbee kind of about 50% of the snaps. He's usually taken 80, 90% of snaps. So there's a lot of like moving parts to this offense. And I just don't think it's hammered out quite yet. And maybe, I think all of those tight ends are really good players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like nothing world changing, but like doing their job really well, I would say.
They're all solid.
Yeah. And so you look at, first down efficiency and then third down efficiency also really struggling. I mean, those are Tyler Higbee downs. I mean, I think they just kind of got to get back to basics. Stop trying to force the ball to Davante. Let him earn his reps. I mean, Sean McVay sent him a cut up of all the things he could do with him in his offense. And I'm not saying it's a failed experiment or that, Davante Adams is now washed up or anything like that, but it feels forced.
Yeah.
And this offense, when it's at its best, does not feel forced. It feels just kind of like there's a naturalness and a cohesiveness. So I think, but this is what McVay has wanted over the last several years. Last year, they did about 35% in 12 personnel. This year, they've almost doubled that. So no, it was the other way around. They're doing about 35% now. It was like half that last year. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We saw this transition when he wanted to go to more of a gap scheme run, where it just wasn't working. They didn't have the dogs, and then they got Kevin Dotson involved, and there you go.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. The biggest issue with the lack of success in 12 personnel is the personnel. Like Tyler Higbee out last week, he's been banged up. Colby Parkinson missed 2 games. He's been banged up. Davis Allen's been the most steady tight end player this year. Turd Ferg, we've talked about. We haven't seen him. He's not ready fully. He looked ready on a few of those plays, but not seemingly being used very often. So it is hard to run good 12 personnel when you're banged up, and they have tried to stick with it. But you just got to have consistent play. And yet again, here we are Thursday. Higbee did not practice today, correct?
Right.
Colby Parkinson was limited with concussion now, different injury. We went from shoulder to concussion. So, I mean, they're not going to have 4 full healthy options this Sunday either. So we'll see if they switch back to maybe running a little bit more 11, running less 12, and what that looks like. But unfortunately, they've just been banged up at the position that they haven't been able to do what they kind of want. And, Ferguson hasn't quite developed as quickly as obviously they hope, as fans hope. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, the whole forced thing definitely is a real thing. What I expect, Skinny, in this one is, McVay you could tell was so mentally distraught over how that game ended. And he always takes the blame, right? I respect him. He always does. Most coaches do, but he's much more, I think, adamant. Most coaches will be like, yeah, I'm the head coach. It falls on me. McVay is literally like, yeah, I sucked right there. That was all me, blah, blah, blah. He took it hard for that play call on that 4th and 1. So we're talking about all this creativity, getting off to a quick start. I expect McVay to go in his bag this game, and I expect him to have some fun, have some swagger, maybe dial up some trick plays. Actually, I want to see some of that, especially against a struggling defense. And we've seen, I'm rocking my USC Haters Canadian shirt. We've seen Lincoln Riley do that this year with some dial up some awesome creative plays. I want to see that from McVay this Sunday. Let's see some fun and creativity. Let's see some of that Mozart, that Van Gogh, if you will, in the football landscape. Some Monet. Who's your favorite artist, Skinny? Drop a few.
Yeah, I've always been a Van Gogh guy. Mark Rothko is definitely up there.
Oh, Mark Rothko, nice. Okay.
Yeah, big.
I like if we're going more modern, I like a nice Thomas Kincaid portrait. This nice outdoor, very scenic. A good Kincaid. I think that's his name, right?
Yeah, Thomas Kincaid. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Speaking of 12 personnel, Baltimore runs it at a pretty high level and are pretty good against it. Now, switching that over to what that means for the Rams, they're also 29th against 12 personnel. So I'm just going to throw that out there as well. They got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. So with this kind of injury intrigue at the linebacker position, that's going to test that. I'm curious how much they're going to roll 2 guys out there. But I always get worried about teams that have tight end, quality catching tight ends, and good running backs. Now you can look at a couple of teams that they've played recently. One they lost to, the Eagles, and also the Colts. And I think Tyler Warren ended up having a really good game when they were able to figure out and get him involved. So yeah. Also, Roche. No, I'm losing his name. He's a Nebraska painter, but every time I see his name, and they just had a big thing at LACMA that I saw. Well, not just, it was 2 years ago, probably, but it was the last time I've been to an art museum. Yeah, I'll find his name. Anyway, 12 personnel on the other side is really working well for the Baltimore Ravens, and defending it has been tough, to say the least.
It always, anytime a team wants to lean into 12 personnel or has talented tight ends, it always concerns me with, this Rams linebacking core. I think Nate Landman has been a great addition, but I don't think he's a world beater in coverage. He's obviously, a great leader. He's great in the run defense, really gap sound and whatnot, but they just don't have a really good coverage linebacker, which are hard to find. There's not a lot out there.
No,
but they have some of the worst coverage tight ends. So I don't love that matchup by any means. And so we say it all the time, okay, do you put a guy like Quentin Lake on the tight ends? But if you're running 12 personnel, that there's 2, right? And plus potentially a slot guy. So it really puts a lot of stress on that secondary and just on your coverage unit on a whole. And that's where having Jared Verse, Byron Young, and these pass rushers just need to be able to get after. If it is Cooper Rush, that makes things a lot easier. And I think that's why this team in Baltimore, that is so different with Lamar Jackson. Not just, he's an MVP quarterback. So anytime you lose an MVP quarterback, that's huge. But his just style of play puts so much stress on the defense because what he can do with his legs and what they want to do with 12 personnel and whatnot. So yeah, I don't love that matchup that you brought up.
Yeah. Ed Ruscha. Ed Ruscha is the guy's name. Their artist.
Ed Ruscha. Is he I'm not a big art person, but is he still alive, or is this an old artist?
I think he's passed away, but it's from he was painting in the 60s and 70s.
Okay, so modern. I like it.
Definitely check it out. Yeah. Where were we on this? I was going to bring up a couple of other interesting injuries on the Rams or on the Ravens side of things. Just because the Lamar one is so big, these ones might fall underneath. Ronnie Stanley, starting left tackle, has not practiced this week. His backup, Joe Noteboom, who is a familiar face, is also injured. So I'm curious to see, who they're going to try to line up there for Cooper Rush. Also, Patrick Ricard, who is an unsung hero, fullback, one of the few fullbacks left in the league. I think he kind of unlocks Lamar's game in a way. Going back to when they had Greg Roman heading things up over there. He's also been on the injury report. So is he a huge part of their offense? No, but he is an important part. So I think that is something that will help the Rams out. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, and Roquan Smith was a did not practice yesterday, who's their, Pro Bowl linebacker. So big one also.
Yeah. I mean, this is like last week where we're talking about everybody's hurt. They got nothing. They just have to execute.
Yeah. If the Rams play their game, they win this game, right?
But what is their game? I guess is still kind of the question.
Yeah.
And they gotta score points. And I'm going to bring up swing timers. Comment here about kicking field goals. Does Joshua Carty's kind of kryptonite getting blocked kicks? Does this force Sean McVay's hand to be more aggressive in the red zone, be more aggressive on fourth down? Is that what that fourth down call was about late in the game against the 49ers? Was he was just kind of fed up with Carty missing kicks or getting blocked? I wonder. I mean, that's something we got to keep our eye on. But it's at the end of the day, this game is about scoring points, more points than your opponent. That's all you got to do. It just got to be one.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. There's so many factors that they're just ending drives too soon. I'll get off this high horse of mine, but
no. But I mean, it's a good point. I think in that scenario, you should have some level of confidence in your offense that you can get 1 yard and go for the win. Obviously, huge repercussions if you don't, which is what happened, which is why this Rams team lost. But if you don't have, with this offense, with you as a play caller, the belief that you can get 1 yard to go and just win the game, then you're kind of playing to lose or playing not to lose instead of playing to win if you kick that field goal. Plus, on top of that, as you mentioned, they had the kicking issues all game. I mean, 4 points, missed a field goal and an extra point. So, quickly, Skinny, let's talk about our friends at TickPick. Have you used TickPick? I get so nervous saying it because it so closely resembles a word I don't want to be saying on air. But TickPick.
Oh yeah,
ticketing agency. It's fantastic. So third party, just like StubHub or Vivid Seats, but no hidden fees. The price you see is the final price you get. They're the lowest prices guaranteed, no fees. What you see is what you pay. Just looks like any other app. Here I am on the Rams game. If you want to travel to Baltimore, how much do you think tickets right now are for M&T Stadium in Baltimore for Ravens Rams?
I bet I could get one for $122.
$39.
Oh,
gets you section 552, row 21, 2 tickets, $39 all in, no fees. Are we flying to Baltimore?
I think we are. We're gonna get some soft shell crab and watch some football. I'm on.
Great seafood. They got the underrated Italian cuisine in Baltimore also.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
But if that's not better, Skinny. So here's the kicker. I told you $39, but I have a code for you guys. Use the promo code HMA, and that's going to give you $20 off your first set of tickets at TickPick with a purchase of more than $100. So you can't just buy one ticket, but hey, if you buy 3 or 4 tickets at $39, you're going to get $20 off that order. Can't beat that. Just promo code HMA. Make sure you click the link in the description, which I'll include after the show. Download the app and have the code automatically added to your account, or just follow along this video on the screen to enter it. When you go in there, enter that promo code HMA. Gets you $20 off your first order. TickPick. It's fantastic. All right.
$32?
Yeah. Crazy. 39.
I decided I'm going to take in some UCLA home games because I think there's some.
They might pay you.
Yeah, somebody use TickPick to do that for sure. I love the Rose Bowl. It's a great place. A great place to watch a game.
We live close to it. Let's see what the next
that too,
UCLA price is.
Basically walk there.
Let's see. UCLA versus Maryland, which is, so they're away this week, right? So the 18th. So next week is their next home game. How much you guessed in a UCLA Maryland ticket is?
$16.
15.
Oh,
$15.
I'm getting better at this game.
Yeah. So if you buy I'm bad at math. What if you buy 6 of those, then you can get $20 off. There you go. You get a free ticket. Buy 6, get one free, essentially. If you want to go to the USC game, on Saturday against Michigan, it's gonna be a great game. Those tickets are about $190. So that one you can get $20 right off the bat for one ticket. HMA promo code.
You can get me in the press box though.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying me and you necessarily, but anyone out there listening, there you go. Use that TickPick promo code HMA, $20 off. Anything else to add on this game, Skinny?
There is. Well, this isn't necessarily this game, but this is something that needs to be addressed since Ahkello Witherspoon has been out, which has been much of the year. Yes. Man coverage, they have really struggled. The Rams cannot run man coverage without Ahkello Witherspoon, and they're very slight Emmanuel Forbes, very small Darius Williams. So they need to go out and find a way to get that back in there, because their defense was much more sound when that was a part of the defense. And Greg Newsome, who is kind of one of my top guys out there, has been traded already. So he's a Jacksonville Jaguar. So they're going to see him next week. You know, Cam Taylor-Britt is a guy I'm seeing out there that might be available for trade. Denzel Ward, another Cleveland Brown. Just go pick off anybody in the AFC North, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then, Brock Vieira and I from Sports Illustrated, we were talking some Stephon Gilmore, who's a guy that I've been kind of asking for, who's old for sure, but still got some quality out there. So it's not going to happen this week. It might not happen. It might not happen at all. But we're less than a month away from the trade deadline. So I don't know if we should hold our breath or keep asking for it, if that will fall on deaf ears or not. But man coverage right now, they just can't run it, and that's really costing them against some of these receivers, these big body guys that can't be bullied at the line of scrimmage by 5'8" Darius Williams.
Yeah, and Stephon Gilmore is a free agent. I mean, why would you not give him a shot? I thought it was interesting, and again, love Sean McVay, but I just always wonder if he's just not going to be totally truthful. But when asked about, the corner basically said, we haven't had those conversations. And I'm like, why haven't you? I mean, it's clearly an issue. I'm not saying you're, and maybe he's just saying, like, we have not discussed potential trade targets. But like, how would you not, as an organization, discuss, like, hey, can we improve this group? Like, how can we improve this group? Because it's a very big weakness, a very glaring weakness, a very obvious. I mean, Kendrick Bourne was Jerry Rice last week.
Yeah.
Enough said. You should start having conversations about improving that group. So if this week Zay Flowers becomes Steve Smith Sr. reincarnate, you better start discussing improving the secondary.
Well, if you want to run man against this team, Rashad Bateman's a big dude. DeAndre Hopkins is a big guy. And we talked about the two tight ends. I mean, Derrick Henry's not catching out of the backfield for sure, but I mean, I'm not sold on this secondary, and they're probably a man down in the linebacking core. So, don't be surprised. You heard it here first. Don't be surprised if they don't cover this big spread.
Yeah. But, and in that, we know the Rams are not shy to go make a move if needed. So that could be, we've said they don't have a very good poker face. So maybe McVay saying they haven't had conversations is an attempt at a poker face. And then they're just going to just surprise everyone and go trade for some big name corner that no one saw coming. Because we know that they won't shy away. If they think there's a way to improve the team, they've got those 2 first-round picks. If they believe this team, which I think we do, is a Super Bowl contender, there's just some weaknesses that need to be addressed. If you can go get Skinny, a big name corner, and then when Ahkello Witherspoon is back week 11 or 12 or whenever that is, now all of a sudden you've got a pretty formidable group. When you consider if Darius Williams can be your kind of come off the bench guy, if the guy starting right now can be your depth, that unit's a lot better. But the fact that those 2 are your starters, that's why there's been an issue. So, but we'll see if they make any moves down the stretch. We got what? November 3rd or so is the trade deadline?
November 4th. Yeah. Yeah. And bringing another guy would allow them to move Quentin Lake around a bit more, which was good for him, which was really good for him in 2023.
100%. So, which they said this week, they want him back if it makes sense. I always hate that terminology, but that tells me like, we want him, but we don't want to pay for him. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll get it done.
My guess right now is Quentin Lake is not a Ram next year. He's probably going to be a Baltimore Raven.
Oh, geez. Yeah, maybe. Better that than a Niner, I guess.
We'll see. We'll see. They like picking off the Rams roster as well. They picked up. They had that small cornerback that they drafted, Tre'Davious Thomas and Hodges.
Oh yeah. Or the Seahawks are like the Seattle Rams, basically. So we'll see about that. But hopefully we got that down the stretch. Hopefully they'll make that happen. So score prediction. Let's end with that. Who you got? 7.5. You were right. I double checked on our friends over at BUSR. Rams are a 7.5 road favorite. It's a big line.
I'm not picking 30 points again, as much as I think that they should score more than 30 points. So I'm going to do 29-20. They cover in this prediction.
Cover. Okay. I like it. 29. How do you even get to 29?
Well, you miss an extra point at some point. You get a safety.
Very likely.
You get a safety at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Kick a field goal and miss an extra point, and you'd be at 29 with, those touchdowns. So, all right, I will go. I think the Rams do win. I think they bounce back, having that mini bye, bad taste. I mean, there was all those reports about, this was the most emotional this Rams locker room has been in quite some time after a loss, even much more than the Eagles loss, just because of the stakes and what happened in that San Francisco game and the anticipation and the expectations. So I do think they bounce back in a big way. I think they come out a little more fire. I think we see, like I said, I think we see McVay have some creativity. We see some fun plays on offense, some explosives, which we're always looking forward to. I think we see a clean, no turnover game. And Baltimore is going to be feeling the same way after getting blown out by Houston, but I just don't think they have the horses right now with the injury, which I know is what we said last week. But I do think the Rams get this win. I do think they cover. I do think they'll get to 30. I just think that creativity, we'll see something from, but not by much. So you said 29-20. I'll go 31-21. More traditional score, but a 10-point win and cover comfortably.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and after the Eagles loss, I almost saw it as a good thing because this team has room to improve, and they need to know that they need to improve. And if this emotional loss to the Niners is this thing that kicks them off and gets their minds focused for 4 quarters, executing, that's fine. 3-2, go on a big run like they have the last couple of years to kind of seal the season. And you got to get to 10 wins. You got to get to 10 wins to win this division. So got a lot of time.
Yeah, and the beauty of the NFL is you can definitely afford some losses. It's kind of about how you stack after those, how you respond after those. But the NFL is competitive. It's a parity league. So the sky is not falling. But, this team is better than what we've seen so far. So how can we see them start stacking these wins? But should be a fun one down in Baltimore. $39. Maybe we're making a last minute trip to the what was it? What's the nickname? I had no idea. Charm City or something.
Oh, is that? Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, I had no idea Baltimore was called huh?
Is it Jewel City? No, that's Glendale.
Yeah, I think it's Charm City, which I had no idea that Baltimore is known as Charm City.
Quick story. I had a friend that visited Baltimore, and his mom's a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe, who's from Baltimore. And his house happens to be in not a great neighborhood. And they were driving through.
Your friend or Edgar Allan Poe's house?
Edgar Allan Poe's house.
Okay.
From not. And so they're driving around trying to find the Edgar Allan Poe house. And so they stopped and asked some fellas on the corner and asked, can you point us in the direction of the Poe house? I said, all the houses are Poe houses.
I don't know. I actually had a feeling it was kind of going that direction.
Okay.
That's great. And yes, it is known as Charm City, which I had no idea.
That
was his nickname. But the coolest part of Baltimore, if anyone goes and visits, is the whole old town wharf. It's cobblestone street still. One of the oldest bars in America is down there, which is obviously a big Ravens bar now. Great seafood. They've got some live music they do down there. It's kind of like a city square. Well, sometimes they'll do events outside. It's a really cool area right on the water. We were out there kind of pre-Christmas time, and they had it set up really cool. So, if you ever visit, make sure you get down to I think it's just called the Wharf, or it's right downtown, basically on the water. Yeah. Waterfront, probably. Yeah. Any city that still has cobblestone streets, I think is so cool. I love that. Yeah. Love that. So
excellent. Beautiful.
All right. Well, Rams get back on track. See, the Dodgers can get a run in this inning. They almost just hit into a double play after having 2 on with 1 out, but luckily only got 1 out. So we'll see. They can get a run out of here.
Bottom of the 6th, man. This is critical territory. The bullpen has always been the hot talking point.
Yeah. You cannot. So 1st and 3rd, 2 outs.
You got to get some runs, I feel like.
I mean, you cannot go to the bullpen 0-0. Cannot. I mean, who do they turn to in the bullpen right now? We'll see. But Tommy Edman,
Roki Sasaki, baby. Roki Sasaki coming out as a closer.
As a closer, I'm for that. I don't think they're going to have him go, 3 innings, but
yeah, probably not.
We'll see. I'm assuming Glass now is still going to keep rolling, so we'll see.
Yeah, we need some Shohei love. We need some Mookie love. We need these bats getting hot. This is a bad time to cool off.
Bad time. Ooh, speaking of Shohei, I almost just got blasted with that Tommy Edman foul ball. All right, we'll win there. Skinny, great to see you as always. Ramley, thank you for hanging out. We'll be back every Thursday. Live show plus Skinny is live after every game on Sunday. So about 1:30-ish p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
This beautiful mug here on the right side of the screen will be live and breaking down hopefully a Rams win and a Rams cover. Thank you all. Be well, be safe, enjoy the game. We'll talk to you all right after.